Well, greetings everyone. My name is Father Peter Fink. I'm a retreat director on the staff of Ignatius House in Atlanta. And today we begin a new focus for the Contemplatio, looking at the events that preceded and followed the birth of Jesus Christ. This is the story of the Incarnation, the Creator God entering creation in the person of Jesus of Nazareth. We look at the Gospels of Luke and Matthew, which tell the story in very human terms. The version of John is more metaphysical and tells the story as God's action, and that might unfold better at a later time. Now, Luke is a historian, and his intent is to tell the story, in his own words, an orderly sequence, so that Theophilus, the one to whom he is writing, and of course all of us who may hear or read the story, will remember and understand. Now, Matthew, the tax collector, has a different purpose. His is to link Jesus to the traditions of Israel and to Abraham, the father of nations. And it is also to stress the fact that God is Jesus' father, that Mary was a virgin, and that Joseph would be with them both as guardian and protector. Now, this is not a radical shift from the previous section on Ignatian Themes, since the focus on the infancy narratives is strongly present in the first part of the second week of the exercises. Ignatius himself invites us to have awe and wonder and a great deal of humility that the Creator God would become one of us. Now, the section from Isaiah, which was our leading text today, is about the child of Ahaz, Hezekiah, in whose birth the land of Judah would see the continuing presence of God. Hence the term Emmanuel, God is with us. Now, Isaiah speaks of a young woman, not necessarily a virgin, but who would bring forth a child. But Isaiah's sign of prophecy, even in his own understanding, is not just about Hezekiah, but implies the promise of God with us that will remain until it unfolds in the ideal king in David's line, which we Christians proclaim is Jesus of Nazareth, son of David, son of God. So whether we speak in times past of the child of Ahaz, or as Christians now claim of Jesus of Nazareth, the purpose is really to speak the ongoing presence of God with us, which is a good beginning for the story of the Incarnation. So what will be our initial prayer in response to the promise that Isaiah puts before us? For even though we Christians have mapped out the full journey of Jesus and do so every year, at the beginning of the journey, we too are simply to wait, just as the Jewish people wait. We enter the unfolding mystery with the same kind of expectation and hope that Isaiah set before his own people. The biblical scholar, Father Karol Stuhlmuller, offers the following interpretation of this Isaiah text. Quote, "This message of Isaiah found a new and surprising development with the conception of Jesus. Like any other child, Jesus would come to birth after 9 months within his mother's womb. Jesus would be born in a family setting, of a man and woman married as husband and wife, and Jesus therefore did not suddenly appear as an adult on one of the mountains. He did not come abruptly from some other place like Elijah. Jesus was not only born after 9 months of pregnancy, but he spent long years at Nazareth as an infant boy and as a young man. And this stretch of time has no value for world salvation except that Jesus the Messiah would be thoroughly human. So for both the child of Ahaz and his wife in Isaiah, and the child of Mary and Joseph, the promise that is unfolding is the presence of God among us. But the language of Emmanuel, God living among us, does not stop with Jesus of Nazareth. Jesus himself asks those who believe in him to continue his work, and therefore to continue showing that God still lives among us. He asks us to love. We will see again as the incarnation unfolds in our prayer how he loved and how he asked us to love as he did. Watch the lessons of love between Mary and Joseph, between both and the God who called them, and the love that they will have for the child when he finally appears. Again, Father Stuhlmuller, the angel Gabriel's announcement to Mary of her virginal conception of Jesus the Savior symbolizes how God will surely step in all of our lives, right when we are in the midstream in the course of our human existence, right at crucial times of our planning. The way of salvation will take a sudden turn. Our plans must be scuttled. And what we had never suspected to happen becomes the principal element in our lives. Only by interacting positively with this sudden divine intervention, perhaps, for example, a serious sickness or death, a financial loss, a new child within the family, a new in-law. Very natural in some ways, yet totally unexpected, can we find peace and salvation. For still God is among us, and that's the promise of Isaiah. Realized in Jesus, still unfolding in our lives today, in every aspect of our lives. God is among us still. And the invitation finally for our prayer is to look for him in every instance of your life. Blessings and be at peace.